Hey everyone! It's been a hot minute, but I'm back with something I think you guys are really gonna enjoy. Who has two thumbs and remembers Saturday morning cartoons and their favorite breakfast cereal? This guy, that's who, and today we're gonna be talking about all the delicious, whole grain, marshmallow-filled, chocolatey crunch flavor explosion that punches your taste buds in the dick and brings back all the memories. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite breakfast cereals in a single elimination tournament to decide once and for all what is the AB's favorite breakfast cereal right here on the Tournament of Cereal. Right here on Double AD. Stick around. Hello, and welcome back to our humble little podcast. It's me, the A to the B, the old school is riding high again. And as with me today, a special guest, Double AD alumni, and all around great gal, Miss Junk is going to join me for today's episode. And hello, how are you? I don't have a joke for you.
Good. I wasn't sure if you were gonna have something, so I was waiting patiently. When you said A to the B, I was like, yeah, that is old school. That's
right. It is.
That's like old school trying to sound like the new kids old school.
Hello, fellow kids. Yes.
Hello, children.
That's right.
Come to my basement.
No, I didn't say that. For the record.
Correct. Yeah, great to see you again. This is great. You moved, you relocated to a brand new studio.
I have, yeah. This is great. I've tried to keep the digs to a reasonable facsimile of the old stuff, but who knows? This may not be the final configuration, so we shall soon see.
Excellent. I see a lot fewer action figures, though.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of room back here. You know, the AB laboratories in front of me have to take up a lot of space, so they can do their computations, and all the labor force over there can help me out with all the graphics that are going to come up on the screen today. So,
nice.
Yeah,
I just imagine rows of like those old school machines with the tape deck spinning.
That's exactly what I have.
100%. Me, I'm on Mars, as you can tell.
You are coming to us
there's
live.
There's a rover behind me. Yes. I'm working on repairing that.
Is that one of the moons of Mars?
I don't know. I don't even know how many moons Mars has.
2.
Oh, all right. Now I feel dumb.
No,
I didn't even realize Mars was actually smaller than Earth.
Yeah. Mars
about a year ago.
Yeah.
So
wow. Really?
Yes.
You were asleep in high school science class, weren't you?
Right. Yes.
It's all good. It's all good. I was asleep in math, so.
I'd like to say I was daydreaming.
Right. You were looking forward.
Let's just say I had ADHD, AADHD.
Right. Well, we've all got a little double AD in us, if you know what I'm saying. Right. But exactly. Anyways, I digress. It is fantastic to see you again here, Miss Junk. And today we're going to discuss the Tournament of Cereal. I can't wait for this because I have and by the way, I'm super nervous. I have no idea what's going to happen here, folks. Miss Junk has hidden the frames or the brackets from me, rather. So yes. I'm clueless. I don't know what it is. I've fed her with 32 of my favorite breakfast cereals, and we're going to go at this thing single elimination style. So, gosh, I really am nervous. What do you got for
32.
me today?
It was a tournament of 32.
Yes.
But here's the thing. This isn't, anyone can win. Any one of these cereals has a shot to win.
I agree.
Now, let me just say that. Now, are you, really quickly, I'm just curious, are you basing these more on eating cereal as a kid or eating cereal today? What do you think you're basing it on more?
My entire life. Life. So, and I'll to tell the truth, I have eaten all of these cereals as an adult.
Of course. Okay.
So, all of these still rank as my 32 favorite. Like, you would not be out of place if you came to Chez Troubet and looked at the top of my cereal cupboard. You would see these without a doubt on top of my refrigerator.
Now, originally you sent me 16 cereals.
I did.
And I said, come on. That's not nearly enough. There are way too many cereals out there. Let's go for 32. And
Right.
at first, like I was reading this thinking of you as a child, and I saw rice checks and wheat checks, and all I could think of is what kind of neglected household were you raised in? That was one of your top 16 cereals.
It kind
I
of
mean,
was.
was it really? Oh
Yeah,
wow. Well, we'll
yeah.
find out in the tournament. I've had some crappy cereal. Like I still remember the cereal, like the puffed wheat
Oh, I
that was on the
love that.
bottom shelf. That was
Uh-huh.
like in a garbage bag for 50 cents. Like
Right.
and that you like. There isn't enough sugar for any child to enjoy that. Like you can sprinkle as much as you want, it's still not going to be enjoyed. Like that was like. So I've had Kaboom. Remember
Right. I
Kaboom?
remember Kaboom. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For those of you who've never
Yeah.
had Kaboom, it was probably taken off the shelf for arsenic or something. I'm
Right.
assuming, but it was basically the worst parts of Monster cereal made slightly worse.
Uh,
So no marshmallows. It was just
right.
those little like faces, but with no marshmallows, and it was slightly worse. So I've had bad cereals, but
Right.
we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. We never know. So
We
what I
will
did
see. You know, and
now, you
I did
listen.
leave some out as well. I know that I did.
Yeah,
You know, it was so tough to choose. Right. I feel like I wanted to represent as many across the board as I could today.
right, right.
And by the way, for a short time, just to prove the point, Crispix, and this is not a spoiler, by the way, but Crispix was my favorite cereal when I was 12 years old. So
Wow.
for whatever that's worth.
That's at Crispix. That was
Mm-hmm.
like big. That's big in like England, right? Isn't
Uh,
that where it was like? Isn't that where it like sort of was huge? Like in the
was it? I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
think
I
Weetabix
could be wrong.
was. Weetabix was a
Oh, Weetabix.
big
That's something. Yeah,
UK, right.
Weetabix.
Was a
Weetabix.
UK cereal, which is not on my list, by the way, and I have had it,
Right.
yes. But
Yes, I've had it. I've
yeah.
had it for
What
sure.
do you think
So
of
what
Weetabix?
yeah. All right. It's
Yeah.
very. It's like if you need fiber in your diet and you need to get the ball rolling, so to speak, it'll do the job.
Poop like a
That's
champion.
what I look at. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So what I did when I made the brackets, by the way, now you didn't know how I ranked them, but
No.
basically all I did was like you gave me cereals 1 through 16, and I just made them the seeds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
okay.
and then the next one's the same thing, just 17 through 32. So in a tournament, the 32 seed goes against the 1, the 31 seed goes against the 2, etc. So that way the
Oh,
one seed should theoretically have the easiest, and that's the way it works in like basketball in most
right.
tournaments. So
Okay.
that's basically how I set up the brackets. So what we are doing the left side of the bracket, which is the number 1 seed and the number 4 seed. On this side are the 2 and 3 seeds. So
Okay.
basically so we will go through. I will tell you. I don't know. Would you like it if I told you what seed they were first, or would that skew you? Do you think?
It wouldn't skew me. I don't think
Okay.
that would be the case. I mean, you're gonna shoot me the brackets after the fact anyway, so
Yes.
I'll be
Yes.
able
Okay.
to
Okay.
forticulate that as mentioned previously with Double AD Industries in front of me, who are going to put
Right.
these fantastic graphics on the screen for you today.
Exactly. Excellent.
So
Excellent. All right. Yeah, and when we're ready to go, you just let me know. Now, what criteria are you basing them on?
oh
If
goodness,
say someone's watching this, wondering, well, how are you basing this?
good
Is this
question.
just through your entire lifespan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah.
Basically?
This is a life's work. This is a master class in serial
Yes.
representation. It's all about
Yes. This is your
consistency.
Anna Karenina.
Right. It's all about consistency. In other words, what product has remained consistent for as long a period of time as it has. I want flavor. Obviously, that has to be the biggest component next to, I think, consistency, because look, you don't want one bowl of Cheerios to taste like something and then another bowl of Cheerios to taste like something else, right? You
Correct.
always want a
Correct.
bowl of Cheerios to taste like fucking
Yeah.
Cheerios.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Kaboom, you're lucky if
and
there's not a thumb in it.
Kaboom,
So
right.
right. So
I remember
all
Mr.
right
T
then.
cereal too. That was some
Mr. T, that's
Captain
right.
Crunch ripoff.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. It was a Captain
Okay.
Crunch.
I know it's just shaped like a T and it had a
Yeah,
cartoon Mr. T on there.
right.
I did see an old time school cereal box which I'd never heard of called Baron von Redberry.
Oh
Which
my
was
God.
Did you have it?
I had it, yes.
The best box ever. It was like this red baron in a plane, just like I don't know. Apparently he hunts cereal.
Yeah,
With
he's a
yeah.
baron.
He's a baron. He's a
That's
baron,
right.
just like World War One, World War
Right.
One ace Baron von Ricken
Baron
something.
von Strawberry, I guess. It was a
Yes, yes,
precursor
red.
to Frankenberry. If you really want to get technical, it was the same thing, really.
Was it? There were
Yeah.
marshmallows?
I seem to remember there was. Again, I had that
Okay.
cereal when I was so little. I can't.
Right.
I mean, I remember eating
Right.
it out of the box, and for all I know, maybe who knows? Maybe I'm mistaking
Yes.
Franken von Redenberry with Frankenberry. You know, it could
Right,
be.
right.
You
It's
know, my
Baron
brain.
von. Let's get some respect. He earned the title of Baron.
He
Let's
did.
respect that. Okay.
He did.
You know, I mean, they don't just hand anyone a title of Baron unless they're born into it. Clearly, he's slightly inbred to get that title. but
He might
but
be.
he's still but he's representing the Red Berry name. So
There
good
you
for
go.
him.
There you-
So yeah, so
But
let me
yeah.
are you
So consistency. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent and cut
my
people
fault,
off.
my
But
fault.
consistency and taste has to be in there, right? Taste is a big component. Crunch factor, which kind of goes hand in hand with consistency a little bit, right? You want a pleasant crunch for what the cereal is. You don't want it to be too hard or have too many, too
Yes.
crunchy bits or too many overbaked bits. You don't want it to be overly sweet. You don't want it to ruin the milk. You want a nice saturation to it. You want the milk to have a nice flavor to it afterwards. I'm talking, this is the criteria. I want the
Yes, yeah.
bouquet when I open the bag, everything.
Right.
This is my life's work, people. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's now. What factor do toys play in that? Like they don't even have toys anymore, but
No,
they
they
used to.
don't. But they used to. And my favorite toy to get out of a cereal box was not actually a toy. It was actually a cutout record. You could cut
Yes,
a
the
record.
Monster cereals.
Yes, out of the back
Yes.
of the record and play Monster Mash
That's right.
on the back of the cereal. I loved that as a kid. Loved it.
Yeah. Those. Yeah.
That was the
Good
best
times,
prize.
Good times. Yes. Anyway, I digress. I feel like I appreciate all the work that's put into this by you
Right.
and your research over the years.
Yes.
That's yes. One entire room of your house is dedicated to notes and research.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
the stacks are clearly, I didn't want to show you guys, but the stacks of paper are clearly lining my walls as we speak here. So,
Right. Absolutely. The night notes, the charts. It's sort of like a beautiful mind with string tied
right?
everywhere. Yeah, which is perfect. So, in honor of Baron von Redberry, we'll call this the Baron von Redberry bracket.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
So there will be 8 matches total, 16 cereals, 8 matches total. I will keep track of them on my spreadsheet. Then I will send them to you where we're at.
Okay.
But the first 8, so we have two groups. The one seed. Hold on, let me get in here and see if I minimize you. All right, the 1 seed versus the 32 seed, the 16 versus 17, the 8 versus the 25,
Perfect.
the 9 versus the 24. Those are the first ones. So the favorites being 1, 16, 8, and 9. So that they should be making it to the top 16 in theory. But who knows? Who knows?
We don't know.
So the first matchup,
Okay.
based on your rankings,
Okay.
we have Frosted Flakes
Okay.
versus Wheaties.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah, tough draw for the Frosted Flakes.
tough draw for the Frosted Flakes. I don't know. Golly. I like them both, right?
Yeah.
I like the fact that Wheaties has a nice, mild, sweet undertone flavor, and I don't mind the fact that it goes a little soggy a little quickly. I kind of like the fact that it soaks up a little bit of that milk and it gives you a little bit of that mouthfeel. I like that. I'm not opposed to mushy cereal. I mean, look, I don't let it sit on the counter for 30 minutes like a psycho, but I mean, but I will partake in some soggy. In fact, there are some cereals on this list that I do like to sit on the counter for about 5 minutes to soak up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that
I
when
can
we
see
get
that.
there.
I can see that.
But
Yeah, this is a tough draw. This feels like
Yeah.
Frosted Flakes is like versus Wheat. It's almost like Wheaties is like the adult version of Frosted Flakes almost.
kind of, yeah. So
a little bit, right?
Yeah, just like those Frosted Mini Wheats commercials. What do you like, the adult or the kid in you?
Right,
And
right.
gosh, you know, as much as I like Wheaties and as much as I like Frosted Flakes, um, I gotta go with my heart. I gotta go with Frosted Flakes here. Frosted Flakes
Frosted
is
Flakes.
gonna win that battle, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The number one seed comes through, but a
yeah,
tough,
yeah,
tough first round for the number one
yeah,
seed. If
yeah.
that's
It's
any
unfortunate
indication
for
of what this,
Wheaties.
if that's any indication of what's going to happen in this tournament, we have to buckle up. So
That's
who
right.
knows?
Tony the Tiger is gonna be tough to beat, folks.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Later we'll do a Mary F. Kill with Frosted Flakes,
Oh,
Lucky the Leprechaun, and Baron von Redberry. But we will.
wow.
That's another episode.
All
That's
right,
another.
let's do
That's not.
that. That's a good episode. We should do that one.
That's an hour long at least. At least. I mean, Baron von
Oh,
Redberry is the only one with a job, and he's German, so he has socialized medicine.
right.
So all right, the number 16 versus the number 17 seed.
Okay.
This will determine who faces off against Frosted Flakes in the next round.
Okay.
Very similar. Fruit Loops versus Tricks.
Oh.
Very similar. It was surprising to see
Oh.
these two come up against each other.
Wow. I would not have expected that.
Yeah, very evenly matched.
Two
Very evenly
fruity
matched.
cereals.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I feel like they're two similar but separate beasts, right?
Yes.
I think if you look at Trix and its fun shapes, right? I don't think it has
Now, it never used
now.
to
It
be.
never used to be. This used to be balls of like
Yes, with artificial food coloring.
right. But now it's a shape of a grape, which
Yes.
doesn't actually taste like grapes, kids. But it's a whole different beat, and it's made out of different grain. It's made out of corn and oat, whereas Fruit Loops, I believe, what is that made out of? Is that just oat?
Could be, could be.
I'm
I'm not the cereal expert. We might have to go to the database later.
Yeah,
to
we have to
figure
go
that
to
one out.
the
Yes, we have to go to the records. Yes,
double AD laboratories.
right,
Um,
right, for sure, to test the
but
purity level.
but there's a huge difference to me, right? And to me the difference is clear. When I open a bag of cereal, very few have the bouquet that Fruit Loops does. I mean, there's a reason that the
Yes,
commercials always say follow your nose, right? And that's the first thing that happens. You smell it. And I don't know if it's because it's an olfactory trick that Trix hasn't yet caught on to here, but I'm going to have to go with Fruit Loops on this one. I think Fruit Loops is slightly better. I think Fruit Loops has a little bit of a tighter crunch and a better mouthfeel. I like the fact that
yeah,
Fruit Loops has a nice varnish to it. Trix just kind of feels like
right.
fruity corn and oats.
And let's not forget the torus shape
Oh,
allows the milk to go through the loop,
right.
thus helping permeate the oatiness.
Oh no, that's
I'm
great.
trying. I'm trying to be the analytical commentator here.
That
So
is
Fruit Loops
fantastic.
takes it in the
Fruit
battle of the
Loops.
fruit cereal.
Fruit Loops does take it in the battle of the cereals. Yes,
Yes, yes,
I would. I'd be remiss
they
on another day on another cereal. Trix might have taken it,
right. And
but
now, which brings up Frosted Flakes versus Fruit Loops in the next round, but that's another week.
oh
That's
god.
one to
Okay,
think about. So now,
right.
now we have the number 8 seed versus the number 25 seed.
Okay.
In the 8 seed, Cinnamon Life versus Raisin Bran. Now, you never clarified which Raisin Bran, Post or Kellogg's, and they are
Mhm.
different.
Yes, I should have
Kellogg's,
clarified. That's Kellogg's. I prefer
Kellogg's,
Kellogg's.
yes.
Yeah, two
Kellogg's
scoops.
has a little sugar on the raisin.
Yes.
Post
Yeah.
does not.
Yeah. Sugar is key in that component. Yes.
Yeah,
But
100%,
um,
100%. So Cinnamon Life versus Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
boy, these are a couple
These are
of
not going to be easy. These are
no,
not going to be
one
easy.
way or the other, out in or out, right? This is
Right.
we're talking fibrous cereals here. On one end, I love Raisin Bran for the same reason that I love Wheaties, right? They feel like they're just varnished, just slightly varnished Wheaties with a nice, plump, juicy, sugar dusted raisin. And it's so good because the raisins don't ever really rehydrate. They just kind of
No, no.
stay dry and tacky. and I love the way that it just mixes in with the wheat and oh my God, Raisin Bran. I could eat a big fat bowl of it and just be happy for the rest of my life.
Even as a kid, I liked Raisin Bran.
Even as a kid, I loved Raisin Bran. That's no lie either. But on the other hand, Life cereal, the problem I have with Life cereal is this. I love the flavor, and I love Cinnamon Life above all the other flavors, right? I mean, let's be honest. I'll eat Life in a pinch. Vanilla's okay. I loved Chocolate Life when it was out, but they don't make it anymore. So
Okay.
now it's Cinnamon Life for Life when I have Cinnamon Life in the house. But my problem with Cinnamon Life for Life, right? My problem with Cinnamon Life is it goes soggy a little too quickly for my taste,
Okay.
right? I have to eat either the bowl very quickly, or I have to eat a very smaller portion of it to have the same mouthfeel satisfaction, right? So I love the flavor, right? Don't get me wrong. If it was just about flavor, Cinnamon Life would be very much higher on the list. But I gotta go with Raisin Bran on this.
I 100% agree, and we have our first upset of the day.
Okay, we have a first
Which,
upset.
yes, the 25 seed Kellogg's Raisin Bran. They struggled. They shouldn't have been a 25 seed in my opinion. They should have been much
Right.
higher. But that's where they landed.
Any given
So
day.
that's where they are.
Any given
absolutely,
day.
absolutely day. By the way, one thing we didn't mention with Frosted Flakes Wheaties, corn flakes versus wheat flakes. It'll be interesting to see if there are any trends with corn versus wheat.
Oh,
we'll have to see.
interesting.
We'll have to
We
see.
will have to see. Yeah.
We never
I
know.
think
The
I
next
might
one.
know the answer, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Now, this is as different cereal as you can get here.
Okay.
We have the number 9 seed Cheerios versus the number 24 seed Cocoa Pebbles.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, oat
That-
versus rice. Oat
Right.
versus rice.
This is a solid split down the middle. This isn't
Such a clash of styles.
right.
Such a clash of styles.
I mean, do I want to be heart healthy or do I want to drop dead?
That's right.
Gee, Millie, Christmas. I love Cheerios. I have loved Cheerios since I was 2 years old. Cheerios.
I've never liked Cheerios.
Oh my God.
But go on. This isn't about me. This isn't about me.
Okay. Well, I'll forgive you for never loving Cheerios, but
Okay.
I have always loved Cocoa Pebbles, and higher than Cocoa Krispies. In fact, if I was in the store, and this is maybe a bit of a spoiler alert, kids, Cocoa Krispies is not on this list. And the reason is because if I'm in the store and I'm feeling the mood for a crispy chocolatey rice cereal, 9 times out of 10 I reach for the Cocoa Pebbles. I think it's just a superior product.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
God. I love the cocoa milk that comes after the Cocoa Pebbles and the little itty bitty flakes the soft flakes that are floating in the leftover cereal that you have to try to scoop in with your spoon. I'm going with Cocoa Pebbles.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I love healthy cereals. I really do. And Cheerios is really good, but I got to go with Cocoa Pebbles.
That is the second upset in a row. This
Wow.
bracket is a lot of bracket busters.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Cocoa Pebbles which again, the 24 seed, that could play a big spoiler, and it's showing it already is.
Wow. Okay.
And now we're on the next bracket where we have 5, 12, 13, and 4 versus 28, 21, 20, and 29. And there are a lot of different things, a lot of interesting matchups here that I'll be interested to see.
Okay.
And the number 5 seed overall for you and on your list, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And that goes up against another crunch, the Cap'n. Cap'n
Oh,
Crunch.
no, you didn't.
I didn't. You didn't. And by that, I mean, you did.
Oh.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Captain Crunch. Now, this is standard Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Standard. Not the peanut butter not the Crunch Berries.
Right. Standard.
Yes.
OG.
I don't know if peanut butter Captain Crunch is on your list, but
I think it is. Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah.
That was I didn't even know they still made that, quite honestly.
Oh, yeah. 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 It should be on the list. But
Yeah.
I'm pondering the ramifications of which one I pick here. Captain Crunch is one of the best flavor profiles that I think a cereal could have. But I hate the fact that it shreds the roof of my mouth.
Yes, I was gonna say it's like gnawing on like thumbtacks.
Right?
You know, if you don't wait for it to get a little soggy, yeah, it's
Exactly.
got absolutely. And I
This
think
is
that's why I think that the 28 seed and not much higher up.
yeah. Well, and that's right, because this is one of those cereals I have to let sit on the counter for a little while, and I'll give it a couple of stirs. Maybe I'll sip a coffee. Maybe I'll play a little video game or two. But, I mean, that's the only way to eat it.
Yeah, and it does have a nice texture when it's soggy.
It
Almost like a
does.
mochi
It does.
kind of
Well,
thing.
it's
But
Captain Crunch.
I mean, here's the thing: like you have to let it get soggy in order to enjoy it.
Yeah. It's
Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
no.
you can eat it right out of the box. So I mean, this is a tough one. Flavor wise, you have the flavor, you have the actual logistics of what it takes to make it enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
It's got to be a tough one. But in the end, is that worth it? Is that worth it? And are you? Yeah. So this is a tough one, no doubt about it.
No, and here's my line of thinking. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is going to win here because I think the milk after product is probably the most superior cereal milk you will have in your life.
Yes, and normally I don't eat anything that's described as an after product. I feel like that's a red flag.
Well, what do you mean by after product? I mean,
well, that's you said the milk after.
Oh,
product.
the milk after. Oh, yes, you don't.
Which is kind of a tough way to describe it.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Right.
The cinnamon toast. Yeah.
I love the Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk. It's I don't know what it is. It might be nectar of the gods for all I know. But I know that when I'm done eating a bowl of CTC, I've done eating a bowl of CTC. I've done crushed that shit. So.
For sure.
Oh.
Now they marketed that. Now so Cinnamon Toast Crunch will take it. You said?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I already put it in. Just want to make sure. Now they marketed that originally like, kids, do you like cinnamon toast? And now want it in your cereal? I don't think kids anywhere have ever had cinnamon toast. I feel like that's like one of those old timey things, Like I made it once. Like later on, I was like, a little butter, cinnamon sugar.
It's good.
Pop it in a toaster oven. Really good. Really good.
It is super good, and I don't know why we don't do that more often. It's like a poor man's cinnamon roll. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Well, no, I don't think that carries over. I don't think it tastes anything like cinnamon toast, but it tastes good. It tastes cinnamon.
It does.
It
does.
Yeah, crunchy.
Yeah.
It's a good cereal.
All hail the CTC.
Yes, Captain Crunch goes down. One of the first times the actual one of those intangibles you were talking about weighed heavily into the decision, no doubt.
Yeah.
Next up, who will face the Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the next round, we have the 12 seed Rice Chex versus the 21 seed. The 21 seed, Boo Berry.
Oh.
The first monster cereal. The first of
the monster cereals.
I'm not going to say how many. There have been. I'm not going to say. We know that there have been actually 6 total because they added a new one last year.
Right.
Boo Berry, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Fruit Brute, Yummy Mummy, and the latest one, I can't remember her name.
Carmela Creeper.
Yes, that's it, Carmela Creeper.
Ugh.
So there are 6 total, and spoiler alert, 4 of them made it into the bracket.
Yes,
this is the first of those 4.
Yeah. I never cared for Yummy Mummy, and it just quickly, I never cared for Yummy Mummy, and I never really tried the Carmela Creeper. It's supposed to be caramel apple, and I'm not really sure how they tend to achieve that with, frosted oat cereal and marshmallows, but it doesn't sound good.
It seems like it's going to be very Chemical City in order to get that across.
Yeah, well, I like chemicals.
I don't mind chemicals, but as long as you can't really taste the chemicals, all these sweetened cereals are very chemically, but
Sure.
I mean, remember how bright the Trix cereal was, like how
Right.
bright red and the bright blue. It's like that's not a natural
It
thing.
was glow in the dark.
Right, right, for sure, for sure.
Um,
So Rice
Gosh.
Chex versus Blueberry.
You know, I mean, when I was a kid, here's the deal. Monster cereals were available year round when I was a kid.
Mhm.
We didn't have to wait till Halloween to eat them. And I feel like in a way that has kind of helped it become more special in later years. Like it's only once a year that I get to eat them, and it's only
For
once
sure.
a year that I do eat them. And when I do, it's pure ecstasy. But I also know that I don't have any plans to eat it after the fact.
Okay.
So, with Rice Chex occupying my shelf far more often than Blueberry, not because of limited availability, but just because, if I saw them on the shelf, I would probably pick Rice Chex over Blueberry. Probably 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Rice Chex. Yeah.
Rice Chex over Blueberry. You're
Yeah.
dead to me. You are dead to me. We are
I'm
not
really
friends.
sorry.
We are not friends.
Oh, I'm really sorry. And I love Blueberry. Don't get it twisted. I do.
Don't make me get my Blueberry bobblehead. But hey, no, you know what? Hey, this is my bracket. This is your bracket.
I know. I'm
So
so
Rice
sorry.
Chex over. Look, this is your bracket.
Yeah.
These are your taste buds. Everybody's different. Some people are gonna pick really terrible cereal over delicious heaven sent, ambrosia from the gods,
I
like
know.
Blueberry.
I know.
So Rice Chex wins. Rice Chex over
It does.
Blueberry.
It does. And look,
Now that could.
out of all these choices, I'm disappointed in myself for picking it. But I mean, I just don't reach for the Blueberry.
Sometimes here's the thing. Sometimes some cereals, even if they may not be they may not have everything that you think of when you want a cereal, but they give you that memory or they give you that certain something where you're like, like that's just something. And Blueberry, like you said, like quite honestly, maybe you buy $1 a year.
Right.
So this is like the old workhorse versus this is like the truck that you can drive everywhere versus the Ferrari.
Exactly.
Can you afford the insurance on the Ferrari? So that's, hey, you pick the old work truck.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
I got a 1989 Chevy S10. It'll do me fine.
With the truck things in the back.
With truck nuts? Oh my God, that's a must-have.
That's that should be a cereal, truck nuts.
Although my God.
Well, probably not when you want to sell to kids.
No. Oh. What's the toy surprise inside of that one, kids?
Terrible.
I know.
Truck nuts did not make it this year. Maybe next year. So, all right, moving on. We have Corn Pops versus the second monster cereal, Count Chocula.
Ooh. This one is probably a little easier for me.
Okay.
We were just talking about limited availability, right?
Right.
And this does play a factor into the Count Chocula Pops decision as well. I really enjoy Corn Pops. I really enjoy a good solid bowl. I don't know what it is that they make them out of, like puffed corn. It's like eating a bowl of kettle corn for breakfast. I don't know how else to describe it, but
okay.
It's kind of an approximation, right?
It's a solid cereal for sure.
It is. And then you go up against Count Chocula, which is such a unique cereal. Gosh. But here's the thing. The number of boxes of Pops that I buy every year versus the number of boxes of Count Chocula that I buy a year are different.
Yes.
And I'll admit, there are 2 monster cereals that I do go out of my way to buy outside of the cycle. I'll go on to Amazon, I'll give Jeff Bezos some money, and I will fork over, $10, $15 a box of cereal just to get it. And Count Chocula is one of them. Count Chocula was a favorite of mine as a kid. It has remained a favorite of mine into adulthood. And I guess I just don't see any world where Count Chocula loses this battle.
Really?
To Corn Pops. Yeah, no, yeah. Count Chocula all the way.
I hope I didn't sway your decision with my hating on you for Rice Chex. Okay.
No. So if I'm not going to rank my monster cereals, thus giving it away, but there is an order to them.
Yeah. Okay. So Count Chocula takes it.
Count Chocula does take this one.
Count Chocula on to the next round. You think he's evil or you think he's just misunderstood?
I think he's a little bit of both. I think
Yeah.
he's a twisted prince of dorkness.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That actually, I was going to say that about you. I think
Really?
you're a wonderful twisted prince of darkness. For sure.
Oh, well, thank you. I thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have that same swagger as Count Chocula.
Wow. That is amazing.
You're no Baron von Redberry.
No.
But, he's next level. He's next level.
Count,
That's it. Is part of that same Slavic blood, I'm sure.
Right. Just for that, I'm going to see what I can do to get myself an official title. I'm going to become a count.
Nice. There you go. Well, you can buy land in Scotland and call yourself a lord or a laird.
Right. There's got to be something I could do. I could get myself one of those titles, those royal titles or whatever.
Right. For sure. Who knows how he earned that title? You know how the bloodshed involved.
Legally changed my name. Count AB.
Right. Count AB. Yes. I like it.
Oh God.
Now we are on to the number 4 seed versus the number 29 seed, the last of the matchups today.
Okay.
The number 4 seed is Rice Krispies on your list. Rice Krispies made it to number 4, and the number 29 seed was another of the Captain Crunch family, Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries.
Oh, okay. This one's going to be a lot easier for me. And the reason for it is because I love crunch berries. I don't like Oops All Berries. It was not included in my list, and the reason for it is because I think the berries are a little overpowering.
For sure, I agree.
So you can't eat, Oops All. I suppose there are some humans who think that shit is fit for human consumption, but I
that's how you get the title of Baron.
Right? You can eat a bowl of that shit and still not piss blue, right? But no, this is going to be a little easier for me. Rice Krispies is going to win this one. Not a lot of preamble to this, and the reason for that is because Rice Krispies has remained it's top 4 for a reason, right? It is the cereal that I probably eat the most of and never get tired of all the time. Oh yeah, I love Rice Krispies. I could eat a bowl of Rice Krispies every single day.
Now, let me ask you, do you put sugar or anything on the cereal?
No. God,
just
blasphemy.
Out of the box. Out of the box.
No sugar on Rice Krispies. Wow. They make Frosted Krispies for that.
Yes.
They make Cocoa Krispies if you really want them.
That's right.
I've even had Strawberry Krispies, which I thought were very wonderful.
Yeah.
Those were delicious, and I don't know why they didn't make them. One time I made Strawberry Rice Krispie treats out of the Strawberry Krispies. That was delicious, by the way.
Really? That sounds... Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. Yeah, when they came out, I remember that. Yeah.
Drizzle a little chocolate on top.
I always felt that maybe as a kid I just had too much of a sweet tooth, but I always felt like, the Rice Krispies never really did it for me.
Wow.
Any of the non-sweetened cereals, I felt a little cheated, Like I felt get the sugar.
That. Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, now then you have that milk with the sugar at the bottom where it's just very, it's basically ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. Melted
so that was our last round. Rice Krispies. That was our
last round.
4 seed.
Yeah. Rice Krispies wins it.
For sure. So the number 4 seed, the number 5 seed, and the number 1 seed all advance. So So next week we have some interesting matchups. We have Frosted Flakes, the overall favorite, versus Fruit Loops.
Oh.
Then we have Kellogg's Raisin Bran versus Cocoa Pebbles. That'll be an interesting one.
Oh, right.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Rice Chex. And then we have Count Chocula versus Rice Krispies. Another battle of so those are the ones who made it to the round of 16, the Sweet 16. Now the other side, which we'll be doing the next time, we have the 2 seed, we have the 3 seed, we have the 6 seed, the 7 seed. So a lot of contenders, a lot of great contenders in there, and a couple upstarts that I can see. Like some of my favorite cereals, some of my favorite non-traditional cereals are in there too. Golden Grahams. I was a big fan of Golden Grahams. That's on that side of the bracket too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Golden Grahams were the bomb when I was a kid. I ate a bowl of Golden Grahams recently just to put it on the list because I thought to myself, gosh, I remember them being so good. And I went out and got some and I was like, yeah, they were all good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have an interesting texture too. So that's
Yeah.
not, but I don't, again, I don't want to,
Yeah, we don't want to spoil the
I
mouthfeel
don't
of
want
it
to
later on.
spoil it, you know.
But yeah.
They have, yeah, so then we have another the crunch, the final crunch of the Captain Crunch is on here. We have another monster cereal, 2 monster cereals.
Yeah.
We have yeah, we have a couple old school, really old school cereals, some upstarts. So who knows? Who knows?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, this should be interesting. Should be interesting. That'll be the round of 16, and from there we then we wrap it all up.
That's right. I cannot wait. Miss Junk.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the first round?
Boy, not what I was expecting. I didn't think you were just going to line them all in one for one. I thought you were going to mix them up a little bit, but
No.
That's insane.
I didn't think that would be. I didn't think that would be fair to. That would be
Right.
my judgment onto there. So I thought, let's just put it in as is, and you know, they made it to the big dance.
Right.
It's up to them now. It's up to them to see how far they can go.
Right. Wow. I'm impressed. I stand here impressed, and I'm in your debt and your awe, Miss Junk.
Oh,
You
of course.
You once again outdo yourself in everything that you do. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't, what's that?
I was gonna say it's flattering you to say, but I'm still wearing pajama bottoms and and slippers that I've been wearing 3 days straight. So, but the fact that you say I go all out, I appreciate that.
No, you do. And by the way, folks, she's got her own channel, Miss Junk's Bits, which is always linked in my YouTube page down below. Has been forever and ever and ever. Just give it a visit. She has Warhammer. It's awesome. I don't do Warhammer, and I think it's shit. So if you want, go check her channel out. I'd really appreciate it. What else, Miss Junk?
No, that's it. That's my nerdy little thing. Warhammer. I don't know why. I like sculpting and painting these little tiny miniatures. I don't know why.
They're awesome.
I don't know why I started doing that, but I have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, they're awesome. Well, I enjoy watching you do it, and if you enjoy this video, head over and check it out. I really hope you would. In the meantime, don't forget, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, do the fonts, do all that horse jazz, right? Do I say that right? Or am I just an old man?
Horse jazz? I don't know what horse jazz is.
I don't either. I imagine it's a
I think
horse
you made that up.
dancing around.
Right, clopping its hooves.
Yeah. I don't know. All that business, all that jazz, all that jazz hands, right?
Right.
Oh my God. Everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us. I can't wait to get into round 2 and then the finals to find out what happens. And if you can't either, subscribe so you could stick around and find out who takes it. For Miss Junk, I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.